Hey there. Welcome to the Lumiere channel. Um, I'm the video is called "What's the Shift?" And that's because for a bit now, I don't know. I've been feeling like there's a shift in certain readings I do, in just what's been going on and also not going on. Um, for instance, when it comes to readings, um, I did a. I'm gonna be pulling some cards. This is just kind of a precursor, and yeah. Uh, if you look at the recent twin flame reading I did, the one heart reading, there was a shift there. The way I do the reading changed in how and where the masculine and excuse me typically is in the spread and where the feminine is in the spread. I've been thinking about changing or doing an additional kind of twin flame E reading, not so much calling it a twin flame reading, but calling it a runner chaser to see what that dynamic is. That's so there's like been some changes there, and then even in I don't know, just like in the air, in the vibe, and typically in the pacifism, if there's one thing I know, or something that I'm beginning to feel into and trust, the more consistent it becomes, is when I'm feeling these things, it's valid, right? Like there is validity in it. So me feeling that there is a shift to me tells me that there is a shift. Um, uh, there being changes in my world and how things are happening. Just there's some shifty energy. Things are moving, right? Um, so I want to just look at it. I just I wanna spend some time looking at it. If you've been feeling this shit or if you're in the same line as what I've been picking up on, it could very well be, it's typically sometimes astrological. So for instance, I'm recording this in December. We just had a full moon in December, right? The last full moon of the year, which is illuminating, blah blah blah. I did not do a reading for that uh anywhere. But I recently had a really great gift gifted to me through the channel, and that was selenite stones. And I find that the crystals that I'm drawn to, the crystals that I'm like looking to work with, or that I end up picking when I'm working with them, always have something for me. I was graciously gifted a massive, I mean, it was a box full of selenite crystals, and that tells me something about what's coming, about what's here, you know? Uh, yeah, I'm very curious to see what the message is as it relates to the shift. Um, so that's what I'm going to be asking. I'm going to be asking, what is the shift? You know? Um, what is the shift? Some surprising things have happened in relation to certain aspects of life, but then also some not so surprising things as well. Things have been consistently the way they are with peaks and spikes, but yeah. So I'm really quite genuinely curious. I want to use more so my oracle cards, because that's also something I'm noticing that I'm using. Firstly, I have a whole bunch of new decks in my family. In the past, 3 months, my deck collection has grown immensely, and um, yeah. Plus, I had this weird dream. It recently. I should probably say it, otherwise I'm gonna forget it by the time like hours pass, and when I listen back to it, I'll be like, damn it, Luz, you should have mentioned what the dream was. Is there's this man, this sort of Asian man, or it's the man who owns Alibaba, or it's an actor. I don't know. It's like this. It's like known Asian man. Is he even Asian? I don't know. But it's this man, and there's a school, and there was an attack on the school, and then the attack was also a setup. Blah blah blah. I'm looking for my phone. The dream had like 2 segments to it that were back and forth, and then I'm looking it up, and it's like these warning signs telling me to leave, right? The dream, this man is telling me to leave. He's not urgent, he's not anything, but he's compelling, and he's saying like, you know, you have to go. We have to leave. They're coming. It's coming. It's gonna happen. And I'm just like, okay, like I believe you. I'm gonna go. But then it goes back to the other segment where there's a group of people and we're playing this game, and it's like a dare game. I think I hugged some sort of teacher. I don't know. I guess I was a student. It was definitely in a school. I'm gonna get to the reading. I just feel like I've been needing to do the what is the shift for a while, and I feel like this dream finally put me over the edge. And then also this is Christmas Eve, and some things happened. As a lot been happening in my world lately. But yeah, I'm looking for my phone, right? I know that the attack or whatever is about to happen soon, and I'm looking for my phone, and I can't find it. I'm about to leave. I'm like at the door threshold of the classroom to leave, looking outside, seeing that everything is calm, everything is the same, but you know, this vibe is like, I have to get it, we gotta go. But knowing that it can happen in any moment, this thing that's supposed to happen, that may not happen, but it's supposed to happen any moment, then I turn back, and I am looking at this lady who was in one of my dance classes, and she's sleeping, and I'm like, dude, I need my phone. And she graciously gets up from her sleep to help me look for my phone underneath where she put it in like stacks of people's belongings and stuff. I won't leave without my phone. Or at least I don't want to leave without my phone for sure. And if I'm caught here, it's going to be because of my phone not finding it. And I don't want to die. You know, I don't want to be exploded, but I need to find my phone before I leave so that I can, you know, make sure that I'm in the know and communicative. I don't like not knowing certain things. So I'm looking up this dream, and sorry about that. It's you know, saying, you know, I'm Googling warning, dream symbol, and, you know, it's coming together. I'm getting, like, you know, this old Asian man is a man I trust, right? That's spirit, for sure. Spirit is gentle. Spirit is saying, you gotta go. You got this message before. You gotta go. You gotta leave, right? You should leave. Something's gonna happen. You should leave. And yet I can't find my phone, but this man keeps looking at me saying, gotta go, gotta leave. Looking up, can't find my phone, and looking for a phone is a certain communication, which to me says, it seems that I won't leave a certain space, this school, this learning environment, until I get my communication. And that's not wrong. I love interpreting my dreams. They give me deeper insight into my shadow consciousness. And when I pulled on it, that's what came up. I used Colette Baron Reed's Pick a Card website. I like to go there when my cards are out of reach. And yeah, the first card that came up was like a shadow card in protection, and it's like, you know, it was good. The second one was something about allies giving you messages, and I was like, yep, this is the Asian man. Spirit's like, what form is she gonna trust? An old Asian man. This is a trustworthy symbol. And then the last card was, luckily, by the grace of God, beautiful, abundance, la 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 la. Nice, because I woke up. I did not find my phone. I did not leave. I woke up. I was still, and it's essentially that moment in my dream is frozen in time, in that I am still looking for my phone. I am still in that school, and I am still waiting for this, bad thing to happen, slash, for me to leave this school with all these people in this classroom where we're playing games. So I'm very curious. I know that that dream relates in some way. I feel like there's a certain lesson that we're done learning, but we're not done learning it. Like, if, from what I've learned in, as it's related to channeling my intuition through this, and reading for myself, for people, and a huge reason why I created the membership and then this channel to support that is because we experience energies for for a long time, right? Like, we experience them for um, a big, a large time. So you may think, I wish I could build a bridge. Like, you may think that, oh, I'm done with something. However, it's just a point in the big energy. And you may be getting messages that, oh, you're done, you're done, you're done, you're done, you're done. Because I'll get those messages. You're done, you're done. Not even you're done, but it's like, leave, 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 right? Leave. But when we get these messages, what I've noticed is it's more so letting you know that that's the mini season that you're in, or that's the doorway you're crossing into, that you're crossing through. So if you think about a threshold, a door, right? It's largely like a door, like this. You just, now I'm using specifically this side, right? Um, shit. This door, I'm using this side on purpose, because I think what we think is it's a threshold, right? That's like quick and you're done. But really, the doorways, the thresholds are more so like this, or even like this. They're passageways. The threshold is wide, right? The threshold is wide. It's not just a point. I love this. This is my spirit animal, actually. And this is funny. I will be. Wow, this is really really funny. Canary. That's hilarious. This is so funny. You don't know why it's funny, but this is a huge message for me. Of course it is. My goodness. Well, there's definitely a change coming. Keep your eyes peeled on the channel. Um, so crazy. Um, but yeah, our thresholds are not simply mere doorways where you're in your bedroom, you're out of your bedroom, you're in the house, you're out the house. It's more, you're in the energy, you're out of the energy. It's more so like this, where you go through the own, like, the threshold energy of moving through. And that's why it can be difficult. That's why sometimes when you are going through this threshold, through this path, when you're on this particular part of your journey, making a decision any which way, any which way is not the best. It's sorry. I had someone at the door. That's why when we're in this position, we can't make a decision any which way because you're not anywhere. You're nowhere, but you are somewhere. You're everywhere and nowhere. You're somewhere and nowhere and everywhere and nowhere. Because we're in this space, any sort of concrete decisions that we make aren't that helpful because it's basically like you would be building your house on sand when we're in this space. So this is so funny. Wow. It's so great. So in any case, um I feel like if I was to extrapolate my dream to include everybody but myself, and the shift is sometimes, often, as we're moving through this doorway, this passage, we are called to leave behind certain things that have been helpful to us as we've been moving. So, anger is helpful in that it reminds you of, let's say you've been betrayed, you felt betrayal. Anger is useful in leaving a past situation and doing what you need to do, say, for yourself, especially in the terms of betrayal. It's useful for you to face those emotions, to understand why, what you're worth or what you need or what you won't accept, la la la. And it's all that pain and triggering and suffering and I will never la la la. It's very useful for you to rebuild boundaries and take down parts that don't work anymore. But that process, when I say that, it's not fun either because you have to really scrutinize yourself and see whether, how you are, what parts of how you are helped land you in that situation. There's a bunch of forgiveness of others and even yourself. How did I do, like, all of this stuff. But where I'm going with that, in short, is there comes a point where while we're on this journey, where the closer we get to the end of the doorway, entering into the new phase, which the new phase is like another sort of, you know, funnel type experience where you get some, for me anyway, how it works is it starts off like that in a more triangular sort of shape, or where it's basically small and then it widens, right? It opens up into a more open space. Um, where when you're reaching the end of this, there's a point where you gotta leave that anger behind. You gotta leave those feelings of betrayal behind. But it's not that easy, and it's not that simple. Um, because it's been a friend, right? The anger has been a friend. The anger has been something that was helpful. But too much of anything, truly too much of anything, can be detrimental. And it seems like it reaches a certain point where that anger and that pain and that wounding, XYZ, it then reaches a point where it reaches its apex where it's like, oh, now it's become hurtful. Now we're becoming bitter as opposed to self-protective in a way that we needed to be self-protective. Now we're becoming vindictive. Now we're becoming petty. Now we're becoming iron centennials, like the ones in X-Men, those machines. Uh, and it's difficult because we think, oh, but you gave me this gift of freedom of anger to move through the betrayal and blah blah blah. But now I have to let it go. It's the same. It's almost how I can relate that deeper is how we receive certain people in our lives that we believe are for keeps. How could you have given me this amazing experience with this person and then just take them away? You mean they're not mine? That's exactly what the meaning is. They're not yours. They were yours for the time that you needed it. The anger was yours for the time that you needed it. The joy, the whatever, thing was yours for the time that you needed it, but now you're needing something else. Now that part has got to be let go. Because then the joy that you felt with this person who was with you during this time, who showed you amazing stuff, it turns into maybe obsession. It turns into maybe addiction. Where, say, while you were going through a tough time, you were using a lot of substances. This is sugar, right? Addiction. I want to do a reading on, like, what your addiction is replacing, like what your addiction is numbing, or what your addiction is avoiding, because we have addictions um, to people, to weed, okay, to, I mean, obviously there's the other drugs that are very addictive, but also there's those low-key drugs that people don't think are addictive, like people, places, certain experiences, fucking sugar, okay, um, addiction to comfort, um, oh, addiction to giving. I mean, not giving really. I won't say that. Addiction to comfort. Um, addiction to doing, and how I'm using the definition broadly here, but it still stands. It's essentially resorting to something as a means of something else. How do I explain that? It's an attachment to something because of something else that's lacking. And the only word that I can think of is addiction. Um, I guess you could call it devil energy. The essential phenomenon that I'm talking about is how when one is experiencing boredom, they'll eat. When one is experiencing boredom, they will text someone who they think they're missing, but really it's just in those quiet moments, rather than being in the quiet moment and feeling everything one needs to feel in the quiet moments. It's almost like someone fighting what's coming in by doing something else. And because you've done that for so long, whenever that quiet moment comes, you go to that something else because you somehow need it for whatever reason. So in any case, I digress. Um, I feel like we're somewhere here in this path, but then at the same time, we're closer to being done. And when many people be hearing, oh, I've listened to all these readings that are saying someone's coming, someone's coming, someone's coming. They're not here yet. And it's like, firstly, someone's always coming. Okay? Like, I've seen readers where it's like, oh, da 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 da. And I'm like, okay, high five to that person. But number one, it may not be the person that you think. It may not be in the way that you think that someone's coming. Um, New love isn't always someone that you are interested in, right? New love can always come as someone low key, someone who doesn't even know that they could be a romantic interest for you. Especially when it comes to love, when it comes to career opportunities, you never know if that bed sheet that you bought was the ace of pentacles that you needed in order to blah blah blah. Because of that bed sheet, you got good sleep. Because of that good sleep, you made better choices. Because of better choices, you found yourself in better deals. Boom. So people are, you just never know. Where am I going with this? Um, when you keep hearing this message of, oh, someone's coming, things are getting better, uh, but then you're not seeing things get better, it doesn't look like things are getting better, what I feel those messages are, because of, at least for me, how that type of thing works for me, is you're here. You're closer to the precipice of entering into this phase, the next one. In this phase is where, the new energy, or the new person, or the new experience, or whatever is here, right? So I feel like those are flags saying, hey, it's coming, hey, it's coming, hey, it's coming. So for anybody who seems to be waiting for something, yeah, that shit takes time. Like I was saying, like it's a broad energy, let me say. In some cases it's there already. In other cases it's on its way, but it's also still there because it is on its way. I like to think of energy and readings and things like that as spherical, not so much like a path like this. Like there are paths like this for sure in my mind, but I like to think of it as spherical, in that what you have is what you have, it's already there. It's just about finding your way there. I really like this representation. It's actually the cover, isn't it? No, dude, it's actually the cover. I like the representation of the spiral, because on a spiral, you can be there, and the distance from there to there looks the same, but this could be higher up in the sphere. This could be higher up or lower down, and yet it looks like, well, what, you know, it it looks like you could just jump, but it depends on your perspective. So, in any case, um, taking things so literally sometimes, especially when it comes to energy, isn't the best. Um, Even when it comes to, I mean, how is it that one month, or a reader, 1 month, and I'm picking on the reading because I feel like we can all agree. I mean, we can all use that as common ground, rather. How is it that, 1 month, or this one time, this the some readers are for the same sign in different months, or different weeks. It's like, oh, this is coming in, or oh, this is ending. You know, um, new love can mean new energy in the form of a person, new energy in the form of you, and that's why I explain it that way. New opportunities can come in the form of a, person, place, thing. All these things, it's best not to take them too, like, yeah, there's definitely literal. There's moments where you're in a season of walking away, and part of that season of walking away um, is a roller coaster, where you're in and you're out, you're in and you're out, you're in and you're out, but you're still, like, you're in and out, going towards the general pathway of walking away. Um, so yeah, I am, I guess, now gonna go into the reading. I just wanted to explain how I see shifts, how I see that type of thing, and I feel like it's 2018 has been fuck. I feel like 2018 has been um, a setup. At least for me, it's been a setup. It's been a preparatory phase. It's been a preparation year. It's been the setup for many people, the setup for a comeback. For many people, a setup for, it's not even a comeback. Not even a comeback, just some new, like a grand shift into a whole new, different way of being. Not even whole new different, but where this time last year I can see the differences in my life, and this time last year, this has been a dying year. Like, There was a lot of inner deaths for me. I had to die to myself multiple times. And I'm still going through it. Don't get that twisted. Still going through it. But I feel like 2019 is going to be where the dust from all the towers crumbling begins to settle. And who knows how long, watch your words, who knows how long that dust is going to take to settle. It could be all of 2019. Who knows? I don't know. We'll play it by ear. But, yeah, I'm not sure you can build as dust is settling. But, yeah, 2018 was definitely a setup. Setting, it's like, setting the table. Not like a setup like, oh, you got tricked. No, setting the table. Putting the plates in the positions they need to be, the knives, the forks, the spoons, the water, the beverages, setting the table. I feel like that's what 2018 was. And 2019, oh, I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but I feel like it's definitely going to be better. That's what I'm feeling. It's going to be better in 2019 in a lot of ways. So here's to that. What is the spirit animal that is representative of the shift? And then I'd like a spirit animal that will carry us through the shift. And then I'd like a spirit animal that will be there for us at the end of the shift. I'm going to write this down because I'm going to forget. So this is the animal. Oh no, I forgot what I said. Okay. At the end of the shift, carry through the shift, and representing the shift. Look, I know, I forgot what I said. Is that what I want to know? What is a spirit animal representing the shift? Yeah. I really kind of want to stop this video and then just do another video on the reading and not so much the like talking part. But okay. What is the spirit animal that represents the shift? And that's the skunk spirit. We can take them. Skunk spirit in reverse, in protection. Know your worth. Okay. I'll do it. I'll take it. I'll take skunk spirit. Oh, I love that. So, wow, I suppose the shift is about worth. That's nice. Not everyone will appreciate you. Many people have issues of their own to address, and you may trigger something in them. But if so, no matter, skunk spirit calls you to be fully yourself without apology. Now is a time for honesty and admitting that something does not sit right for you. You deserve the self-respect that comes when you courageously choose to stand up for yourself and speak your truth in love. Remember who you are and what really matters to you, and act with integrity. You will be so glad you did. And that can be a shift. I mean, that's definitely for a freaking shift. To go from bending over to standing up, to go from taking it and acquiescing to saying no, to go from saying no all the time to acquiescing, you know? Because these things work the other way as well. Too much of anything, too much of any strength becomes a weakness. So, the skunk spirit representing the shift, it's about worth. Wow. Do I want to pull tarot on this? I don't know how that would work out. Anyway, we'll see. I like that it says not everyone will appreciate you. Many people have issues of their own to address, and you may trigger something in them. If so, no matter. But I also see that people not appreciating you in the way that you do for them, or in the way that you serve them, could trigger you. I know this has been my trigger. Madly my trigger. This shift and holding on to this anger, which serves me and vindicates me, of where I've done so much for XYZ, and yet XYZ continues to not do or not play or not reciprocate in any fashion that is satisfactory. But at the same time, it's scary to stop that behavior. It's scary to stop being who you are and who people are used to you being. It's scary for you to leave that school without, a means of communication, without a tie, without you having, some sort of words of saying, hey, I'm going to walk away, or hey, I'm going to not do this for you anymore, or hey, like, it's frightening in a way. It's uncomfortable. And so this message, at least for me, it hits home as far as the shift of self to accept and embrace what's really scary. I don't know if you all get this, but do you ever have this thing in you where you care so much, right? And that's the default. But you know what it would be like if you stopped caring, and it scares you, you know? Where you don't want to turn into an uncaring monster, so you don't want to turn into the people that don't care. And so you hold on to caring, and then you care too much in a way. You do too much. You don't want to essentially let go of an old identity, even if that old identity is an identity that honestly you can't take with you as you cross into the new, Knowing your worth doesn't always mean that people have been like you've been, talking low to yourself or XYZ, la la la. Sometimes knowing your worth can be about saying, okay, like I was saying earlier, anger, you have served me up to this point, but now I have to say goodbye. Moving forward, I can't take you with me. Cigarettes, you've been a friend to me. However, aside from the fact that our relationship is toxic, I can't take you with me anymore. Party girl, part of me, I have to say, like the parts of ourselves that we have to die to, the parts of ourselves that we have to say goodbye to, the parts of ourselves that we have to leave behind, because they can't come. They just can't come. they're no longer a part of our worth. They're too heavy. We have to let them go in order to be light enough to enter through that threshold window into the new new. And it's not easy leaving a part of yourself because there's a sense of abandonment there. Yeah, there is. So there's a way for you to mitigate that space and bid farewell to that part of you without it becoming and turning into some sort of shadow piece that continuously perpetuates and holds you back. Even further. This is like, say, knowing your worth is you, for instance, I'm trying to release some fat, right? I'm trying to lose weight, as they say. I don't know my worth when it comes to my body. Or I do, and I'm just so afraid of it that I hold on to the current worth I have now because that's where I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable in the uncomfortability of where I'm at. Because sometimes when you do climb a mountain, then you've climbed the mountain and you don't have to climb the mountain anymore. And that can sound good, but in your mind, you're like, well, what comes after the mountain? I want to be doing something. It's almost like when you reach the promised land, not to say that it's boring, but you're like, okay, like now what? And that's what we sometimes think low key, low key, like subconsciously. And those thoughts hold us back because we're so used and comfortable, hence that addiction to being comfortable. We're so used to being comfortable in our struggles. We make friends with our struggle. And like, yeah, of course, right? We make friends with our struggle. We go out with our struggle. We hang out with our struggle. We do all this and that with our struggles and our woes and our pain and our past and our what's happened to us. This is how we bond in society. Misery fucking loves company, and boy, what company you will get. This channel is not based, but a lot of the stories I share are based in the pain that I felt in blah blah blah. And that's a pain that people can understand. And so the misery loves company. It's a thing, it's an identity. But what happens when you let go of that? What happens when you let go of the party girl self? What happens when you let go of the introvert self? What happens when you let go of the smoker self, the smoker identity? What happens when you let go of the non-committal identity? What happens when you let go of these things that I don't want to say are no longer serving you, but that can't come with you into this new space? They're not just not I'm not even trying to demean them, to be honest. I'm really not. You're not kicking yourself to the curb, you're releasing it. I like that word. I like that. I saw someone say something about releasing fat or releasing weight, and I was like, I like that. I like that. Losing weight is like a loss, releasing is willing, and I really like that. When I think my money mentor Molly Sapp said that in an email she sent to us recently. In any case, um, death, dying to self. What happens, for instance, let me give you an example of something where it serves you. Holding on to the betrayal, right? Because if you forgive, not even if you forgive, I don't want to use these basic words. If you forgive, if you move on, then it's to you, you're taking it as it never happened. But mostly, and this is a talk I give in my life, I'm a speaker. It's on forgiveness. And mostly it's because you don't trust yourself to not make the same mistakes that you did. So, for instance, if it comes to forgiving a lover that scorned you, taking them back, you're afraid that when you take them back, you're going to go back into the habits that perpetuated and that created, and the dynamic that created the situation that you're in now where you were hurt. And that's because you don't trust yourself. Like, yeah, of course you don't trust that fucker. You don't trust that person. but you also mostly don't trust yourself to catch yourself in time. And so we become hyper vigilant, and we don't want to let go of the anger, don't want to let go of the pain because we don't want to be duped again. It's somehow finding a way to release that self that was hurt and wounded, that is in a way blocking what could be, but also taking the lessons that that self has left us with. So again, we're talking about that threshold, right? What's helped you? What? The saying goes, what brought you here won't take you there. That's the saying. What brought you here won't take you there. The self-worth, the worth of that coping mechanism, the worth of this life that you've had, the worth of the work that you've done on yourself, the worth of whatever you give worth to has brought you here to this moment in this shift. But it's brought you here. Just because it brought you here does not mean it's going to take you there. So for me, know your worth definitely has those base examples of, you're worth love, and you have to you open yourself up to giving away, releasing, saying goodbye to the things that tell you you are not worth love, or to the things that tell you that the love that you've received is the love that you can only be worth, or whatever the fuck. I mean, it's going to be so many different stories. That you are worth love, but you want the love of someone who doesn't want you right now. Yeah. That somehow hoping for a great love will deprive you of the pining of the current love. And so it's better to hold on to the pining than to step into great love. Because in the pining, you get to keep who or what you're pining for. And in the great love is the great unknown. Because you don't know if the person you're pining for is the great love that you deserve. And until we reach a point where our worth rises above this person, place, or circumstance, this past thing that we need to release, until we get to a point that we say, I want better, I want more, and really mean that, and be open to what better and more can look like, we're going to stay where we're at. Because that's comfortable. That's what we want. Right? It's and this is true shit, because some people, if I relate this to love, we can say, oh, I want great love with XYZ, and it's like, that may or may not happen. How about just wanting great love for yourself? And you will feel it in your being when you're ready to accept that as true, or when you're just not accepting it as true. It's a moment. It's sad, especially when it's sad on both ends, when you are releasing somebody that you want great love with, and when you are realizing that you want that person more than you want great love for yourself. And so we're not having their affections reciprocated, or their whatever having what you have with this person is worth more to you than having great love. Because again, great love is unknown. We don't know what's in this new ship. Who knows? Great love could come in you being with this person in a greater way, but because we're not releasing what we currently have it, and we still have it. Knowing your worth is hard. It is so cliche. It's the most cliche message. I mean, there's so many cliche messages, but I tell you, it's cliche for a fucking reason. It's cliche for a reason. It's cliche because it's so clutch. It's cliche because it's so clutch. It's not wanting to leave school until you sort of have, everything that you need. And I'm not saying that's wrong either, by the way. I'm not saying there's no judgment here. There's only me shining a light on everything so that when you are making decisions, you know full well that you're saying, you know what? I'm making my sovereign choice to stay on this merry-go-round. I'm making my sovereign choice um, to see what happens here. There is no judgment here on that. Just shedding some light. Because I feel like when we acknowledge where we're at, why we're at where we're at, and all of that, it helps move us into where we need to be for ourselves. So perhaps your worth, when you look at yourself, what does the choices you're making for yourself say about your worth? What are the choices you're not making for yourself say about your worth? What would you want for someone you care about in the area of your life that you're feeling a bit of lack? So if it comes to career, what would you want for your child, your future person who you absolutely adore? There's still, what would you say to your inner child, the innocent you that knows nothing of the world and is looking at you with big eyes of respect and fully absorbing what you're saying? What would you say to young you about love? Would you tell them to stick it out in a situation that isn't serving them? Would you tell them that life isn't so black and white? People will tell you to leave, people will tell you to stay, but you need to follow your heart and listen to it. And you leave when you are ready to leave. And this is what being ready feels like. When you want more for yourself, when you feel that what you have right now is what you deserve. Like, what would you tell your little self when it comes to love, when it comes to money and work, so that she can have the best chance based off of your wisdom? And I don't want that whole, oh, I wouldn't say anything because it would break time and I wouldn't be where I am and I like where I am. But I'm just saying, like, if you could talk to your future self in your young self in a parallel universe, what would you tell this young self who's about to live life about love? What would you tell them about faith? What would you tell them? What kind of worth would you want them to have when it comes to certain situations in life? We're gonna move on. Skunk Spirit calls you to be fully yourself without apology. Now is the time for honesty and admitting that something does not sit right for you. So again, things that used to be friends, things that used to feel right, no longer serving you, and that being okay. Where let's say you wanted at one point to have green walls, and you can look at it and say, I don't want green walls anymore. Where you wanted to paint and you don't want to paint anymore. Where you wanted this person, but all you want is an apology. Not really them, you just want an apology. Where you want this person, but you're like, actually, I'm bored. This person is entertainment for me. They give me something to do. But do I really want this person, or am I just bored? Do I really want this ice cream, or am I just thirsty? You know? You deserve the self-respect that comes when you courageously choose to stand up for yourself and speak your truth in love. And I'm going to add, speak your truth in love to yourself. Because there's some dark awakenings that I've had. Huge. Dark. Cried. Immensely. Deep, deep, deep. When I realized the shit I was putting myself through. So, in love, right? Remember who you are and what really matters to you. Oh my god. My stomach is just saying, amen, sister. And act with integrity. You will be so glad you are. I wouldn't even say what really matters to you. Like, yes, definitely, right? Look at your standards for yourself when it comes to what you want for yourself in money, in life, in love, in spirit, in your body, in yourself, in whatever. Like, what do you want for yourself? And correct your self correct. Are your expectations right? It's like you are on the path, like, yeah, loose, man, I'm doing it, I'm killing it. Just okay. Well, are your expectations too high? Are you setting yourself up for fucking failure? Right? Are you trying to lose 5 pounds in 1 week? Who is that helping? For what are you doing that for? Can you do something a little bit more sustainable? Can you maybe try to just drink more water every day and start small? You know, if you're trying to find love, how are you going about it? Are you being honest about the type of people that you want to give a chance to? Are you being honest about you giving a chance to people? Or do you know that you're not into certain types of people? So, why do you keep opening yourself up to them? When it comes to work and you know what you want for yourself, are you letting your supervisors or your business endeavors, whatever, like, are you like, what matters to you deeply? What mattered to you originally? Can you connect with that? Can you reconnect with that? And then also, what newly matters to you now that you've experienced what you've experienced? Because it's different. It's different. Some people may have wanted, you know, marriage or whatever, and it's just so funny what happens on the other side, man. No matter how many times I see that you can get exactly what you want on the other side, we're still so afraid to let go. It's a human thing. I think, I don't know, that distrust of the unknown is so real. So you're not alone. All right, can I please have the spirit animal that will carry us through the shift? Or would I get what's at the end of the shift? I wonder. To bridge the gap from blah blah blah. You know what? Give me the spirit animal that's at the end of the shift. Let's get that in. Let's get that in. What is the spirit animal that's waiting for us at the end of the shift and in the beginning of the new? Let's do that. Oh, okay, we got two. That's great. So, the two spirits waiting for us. Rabbit spirit. Very earth creatures, of course. Duh. The two spirits waiting for us at the end of the shift and in the beginning of the new is our groundhog spirit and horse spirit. Horse in the protection. 31 and 33. Who's 32? Groundhog spirit, time to let go. And horse spirit, freedom is yours. Let's read horse spirit. Groundhog actually reminds me of those movies. You know, the ones where this guy, it's actually probably a worse nightmare for me. It's a bad nightmare for me where those movies creep me out, where you relive the same day over and over again. They scare me because my dreams are so real. Like, my dreams are never, ever, they're never about monsters being chased or like, I have dreams where I've texted someone and we're having a text conversation. I've had dreams where I'm just living daily life. Like, that's my dream. So the groundhog movies where someone is repeating the day over and over again, it creeps me out because I'm like, that's not far from my truth. Like my dreams are just the basic ass dreams, and that's scary. I would rather have dreams about freaking unicorns and fairies and the fantastic and dream-like stuff rather than daily life, because I don't know if something happened in a dream or if it happened in real life. Scary. But here, when it comes to what's at the end and and therefore also the beginning, is almost like the shift. I like it because it really does say the thing about the shift energy. That's so funny. It was something that I was saying earlier at some point where it may not even fully feel like you shifted. So here's the thing. I feel like when people think about spiritual awakening and like the shift, they think all of a sudden the world's going to be green. Like all of a sudden the world is going to look different. And it will, but gradually. It's not, a shift is sort of not going to be like a sneeze, where when you sneeze or when you blow your nose, and that moment where both nostrils are clear and you're like, whoa, I've never looked at the world like this. Like I can breathe in both noses. This is fantastic. I will never ever forget that I have one nose plugged and I can only breathe through the one. This is amazing. Whoa, like I'm here. I feel it. Like we'll get moments like that in life. But like that's not how a shift is. A shift kind of creeps up on you because again, it's happening in this sort of way where it happens in a slow way, and then all of a sudden you reach a certain point and you're like, whoa, I'm here. I'm not thinking about this person anymore. I'm not dreading going to work anymore. I just go to the gym now whenever I can. I just pick the healthy foods now. It's easy to, I don't fight with my, this person anymore, my mom, my dad, my brother. Whoa, somehow we get along. Somehow you went from holding on to certain things. Somehow you went from being angry of letting go, not angry of letting go, being scared of letting go. Somehow you went from not being able to say no to all of a sudden saying no with ease. Not being able to say yes to somehow being able to say yes with ease. Right? It's like somehow it'll be a trickle. Which is kind of nice because there's definitely those moments, those true moments where you clearly decide like no. In that moment, it's a moment of truth for you. For me, that moment was when I skydived. The actual moment wasn't that moment, but more so the after effects of that moment, where I gave that moment meaning. Skydiving itself was just like, oh man, okay, cool, I did it. Like my mom always says, there's no there when you get there, but we essentially tend to add the there after we've gotten there. So in any case, yeah, I feel like this shift, it'll feel like any other day with this groundhog here when we get through it, but it'll be one of those things that sneak up on you and you'll be like, whoa, actually, I'm free. Whoa, actually, this isn't something that I wrestle with anymore. Whoa, actually, like it's nice. When I was going through, I'm pretty sure I'm still going through it, but when I was very obviously going through my dark night of the soul and things started shifting for me, I would be pulling cards for guidance, and the card that would come out every single day was peaks of joy, peaks of joy, peaks of joy, peaks of joy, peaks of joy. And I was like, what? How can you say this? I am not feeling any peaks of joy. I am not feeling the joy. I'm not feeling this light. I'm not feeling this. And peaks of joy is 33, by the way, too. I'm not feeling this. What are you talking about? But that is how I'm able to explain that it starts like this. You won't feel this squeeze here. You won't feel this. You may, in as far as feeling it getting darker or something, but like you won't necessarily. It's a slow thing. And if anything, spirit will be saying, hey, it's getting better, hey, it's getting better, hey, it's getting better, hey, it's getting better, hey, it's getting better. You may not see it, but it is actually getting better until you finally see it. And then you'll see, actually, it's been getting better. I just wasn't, I wasn't paying attention. This is you, setting the table and you being hungry, and all of a sudden you kind of eating or not realizing that. Like, you setting the table and you not realizing that the food has been cooking the whole time. Where you think when you set the table, it's like, oh man, that's the first thing you would do. But actually, the first thing you would do is cook. And spirit's been cooking in the background. Things have been cooking. Things have been brewing. And you don't taste them until they're sort of tasteable, until they're done. But by the time they get to your palate, they've been done for a while. I don't know if that makes sense at all, but that's where I'm going to stop. Let me read. Hawk spirit. That's crazy. Yeah, these are earth animals. It's going to be on the ground. Hawk spirit is a bird, is a fly spirit, is an air. That's cool. Horse spirit says, are you feeling stuck? Has your spirit been broken by challenges you faced? Your current choices may not seem the best, but you are not seeing the clearing ahead where you can break free and run. Whatever your choices right now, they can lead you to exhilarating freedom, so trust the guidance of spirit. Horse spirit is here to tell you that adventure calls, and you will soon realize your power is greater than you think. Perhaps your frustration and feelings of being fenced in are the result of being too much on your high horse. Unwilling to come down to earth. Interesting. And join the herd that wants to support you. There is something about earthy, but I really wonder what spirit is going to be taking us through from through this shift. Being in control and in charge can be overrated. It's time to loosen up. Drop the reins, let go, and prance with others just for the fun of it. So it's leading to a different kind of freedom. This is almost like that joke where when you are a teenager, you say you can't wait to be older because you will know everything. And then when you get to be 30 plus or 28, 29, 30 plus, you start realizing that people around you don't know anything. They're all just flying by the seat of their pants. I think there's this joke or sort of saying where someone said, you think that like by 28 or 29 you'll have things figured out, but what you've figured out is that you haven't figured out anything. What is that? I wish I could find it. I wish I could remember it. Man, can y'all hear my stomach right now? Let me see. It's almost like what I get is a freedom in not knowing, where the older you get, the more you know that you don't know. And also, like, the older you get, the less you care. But not that you don't care, but you kind of are aware of the fact that things are going to turn out the way they're going to turn out. People are going to do what they're going to do. Situations are going to be what they're going to be. And while you can try and control this, that, and the other, and you will and do, right? No, that's not a bad thing. Shit. Allowing yourself to go with what happens I'm trying to Google it. Something with the older you get, the less you know. But I almost feel like it's in finding a sense of peace in that. Yeah. Quote by Aristotle: "The more you know, the more you know you don't know." I like that because that's literally like my life. That's literally my life. I like that. In any case, I feel like it's being open to the different ways of freedom. It's being open to the different ways of what the shift could be. Um, for some, this shift, I mean, it's definitely opening up to a new set of challenges also. Um, while I feel that 2019 is going to be better, I also feel like it'll have its own set of challenges, period. It's kind of like when you leave your job to start your own business, you're going to have a new set of challenges there. It's a new beginning, it's a shift for sure. And there's going to be its own set. It's just life, right? It's just life stuff. Um, and how, for instance, let's say someone who's been wanting a relationship and wanting a relationship, they figure themselves out and they find a relationship. They get into a relationship finds them. There's a new set of challenges there now. Now you have to learn how to be in a relationship from not being in a relationship. So there will be some calibration in this shift, in trying to suss your way through it. And allow yourself to make those mistakes and be gentle with yourself. I think really is what Horse Spirit is saying here. Allowing yourself to make new mistakes, to start putting some wear and tear into the new worth that you've acquired, that you stepped into for yourself, the new skin. Putting some miles on that new car, basically. I really like this line. Your current choices may not seem the best, but you are not seeing the clearing ahead where you can break free and run. Whatever your choices right now, they can lead you to exhilarating freedom, so trust the guidance of spirit. Your power is greater than you think. I like that. It might also be scary to gallop around in this new energy, which makes sense. I mean, that's actually to be expected. Because the thing about freedom is it can be scary once you have it as well, because again, you're leaving the uncomfortable. If you guys are familiar with the Romance Angels deck, you know there's that card, Free Yourself, with the horse. And that horse it's not a horse, it's a unicorn. That horse is in a cage and it's tied up to the tree. And even though in some cases that horse wants to be free, in some cases that horse wants to gallop around, in some cases you want to be in a relationship, you want to be in a commitment, in some cases you want to have that job that pays well, in some cases you want your business to take off, in some cases you want all those clients to come in some cases you want to have a great relationship with your family, in some cases you want your own home. While those things are a thing on the ground, what happens when you do get there, it can be scary. You can have a little moment where, okay, so this person now wants to be with you. Ooh, whoa, whoa, whoa. You know, you have this new worth or whatever. And it's like, whoa, stepping into that new threshold, that new experience is gonna have its challenges. It's gonna have a bit of a I'm scared now. That horse, if you open that playpen, cut that cord, cut those wires that are holding it to that tree, and you say, "Fly free, little guy," it's like it's almost like releasing prisoners from jail who've been in prison for 20 years. Actually, I like this better. It's if you've seen on Netflix The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, which is really fun. She's been her and her girls have been in a bunker. They've been held captive for years, and things have changed on the outside. It's a new world, and they just set them free. And it's like there is no matriculation. There's no like matriculation. There's no teaching of how this new world is. They have to sort of learn by error and learn by doing. And it's the same with this horse that has been stuck in this little pen. Now it has to like gallop in such a wide world. There's going to be some stuff that kind of happens. It's kind of like when people go from high school to college. There's a lot of people who don't make it past first semester because that freedom drives them crazy. They start doing this, they start doing that, and then they don't go to class, they don't do the work because no one's telling them nothing. So, freedom, the thing that we want can sometimes be scary. The thing that we want can sometimes be a shock moment. However, as this line says, perhaps your frustration and feelings of being fenced in are the result of being too much on your high horse, unwilling to come. No, that's not what it is. Being in control and in charge can be overrated. It's time to loosen up, drop the reins, let go, and prance with others just for the fun of it. No, that's not what I wanted to read. I'm sorry. So, I think this wasn't in the book. When you finally get that point to give it up or dance. I hope you dance, right? But like I hope you can when you get that moment, which is the stutter, which makes you want to step back before you get that relationship with that person you want, before you get that house, before you da 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 da, where you kind of want to go back in your little cave, where you want to go back in your world of control, where you want to go back to the familiar, where you want to go back to the comfortable. I hope that you can let it go. And now I'm talking about when you get the thing that you actually want, that you deserve to, where it comes in the way that is going to serve you. I'm not saying when no. I'm not saying you get the promotion. This is not a time where I'm saying like you get the I mean, it could be, but you get the promotion to a higher paying job or higher paying position, and then it's a job that you didn't want. That's different. I'm not saying where you get the person who wants to have a relationship with you and it's A, not a person that you're into at all, or it's B, someone who you've fucking, no. I'm not saying this is where you're getting clients and they're clients who aren't your ideal client. They're clients who don't believe in what you do and they want, to demean your work, or they don't want to pay you for the service you provide, or they want to abuse what. No, I'm saying like this is the thing that you've been wanting. Go forth and make some mistakes. Go forth and see how you can pave your path in this new. But they may be that stutter moment, and allow yourself to have it so that you can make it okay, so that you're not wilding out like these freshmen in undergrad, okay? And then flunking on something that you actually really wanted. Now, if that's your path, that's your path, but on something that you really wanted and were moving towards. I hope you dance. That's the song that's playing in my mind. Yeah. Allow yourself that stutter moment. Allow yourself that step back in terms of, oh, whoa, wait, okay. let me think about this. Even if it's something that you wanted, allow yourself the time to think about it. Allow yourself the time to calibrate and reach this new room, this new path, this new space, and be like, whoa, okay, what? And again, this may have been because this is the end of the shift and the beginning of what's the new, right? And in the beginning here. It may be that you've already been in this space, but you just had this kind of like a chew moment and you're like, whoa, I'm here. And you're like, whoa, I'm scared, I'm here, right? So allow yourself the time to calibrate and make wise moves forward. Groundhog Spirit says time to let go. Endings, wow, lead to beginnings. Come through. Come through, Groundhog Spirit. Endings lead to beginnings, and death is a part of life. So Groundhog Spirit is here to let you know that it is time to accept the natural ending of something that is no longer serving you. We love to hold on to what is familiar. It's supposed to come through. But the new needs space to arrive so growth can occur. Amen. When Groundhog Spirit appears, it is a sign there is something in your present situation that you need to let go of so that something new can be born. Something that will far better serve you now. When the groundhog sees his shadow, I love it, he retreats to his den. So too might you yearn for a little more time to say goodbye and transition into the new. Did I mention that this is literally the first time I'm reading any of these cards? There's 68 cards in this deck, and I have not gone through all of them. I barely know what they mean. We haven't learned each other in the way that I need to learn my decks before I even introduce them to you, but these new decks in my life want to be speaking, so, excuse me, here we are, way ahead of schedule. So, as I'm reading this, I am really happy and humbled to see that what I was saying wasn't complete just fucking bullshit, and that the spirit animals are like, no, like, you're right, like, you're on it, like, you're fine. So that's nice. When Groundhog sees his shadow, he retreats to his den. So too might you yearn for a little more time to say goodbye and transition into the new. However, change is coming and it is good, so let go of your resistance. Come fucking through. I hope you dance. Spring brings many blessings, and what must die will always be reborn in a new form that will be right for you. Life requires change and detachment. Say farewell to whatever once served you. B, we literally just talked about this here. What the shift is about is saying, I mean, it's about a lot of things, okay? But one of those little points was saying goodbye to what no longer serves you or what no longer can come with you into the new, right? I love this. Say farewell to whatever once served you and get ready for something amazing to take its place. Spirit is already sending it your way. Exactly. And then once you have that moment where you see it, that, oh, it's here, it's arrived, I hope you dance. Truly. I feel like we exhausted that. So it's an hour and a half already. That's fun. I wasn't expecting this. It's definitely 30 minutes of talking about my dream. So if you made it this far, I appreciate you. That's for sure. I should probably call this in-depth experiential reading, What is the Shift? Just because this is pretty deep, I guess. I don't know. You tell me. I just doubt a shift message would be, I mean, I don't know how to be brief. I mean, I kind of do, but working through the way my intuition works, blah, blah, blah. So what I'm shuffling for right now, what I'm asking for is what energy, what spirit animal will carry us through this shift? What spirit animal do we need to, embody? What spirit animal do we need to look to? What spirit animal message will assist us getting from here to there? What spirit animal will carry us through? I wish I had a big doggy. It would be my baby. He'd just be looking at me right now, shuffling these cards, giving me puppy dog eyes. Not sure if you can hear the dog in the background. Oh, I want a doggy. I like big dogs. All my friends have small dogs. Ugh. All right. What spirit animal and its message will be carrying us through this shift, please? When you get the chance to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. Wow, that was really quick. Wombat spirit, baby. The last card in the deck. Come through. Be at home. Oh, to me, this talks about surrender. That's the first word that came to my mind. Surrender, and what was the next word? Authenticity. Yep. That's beautiful. Come through. When you get the chance to sit it out or dance, I hope you say it with me. Dance, dance. I hope you dance. Be at home. To me, this says take it in stride. And being comfortable. Okay, so. But Luz, you just said being comfortable is devil energy. It's an addiction energy. Being comfortable, like seeking comfort is not a bad thing, but it is when it's not called for, right? Like it's not a bad thing. It's just like sometimes we're not meant to be comfortable. There are going to be times in life where being comfortable is not where you're supposed to be. Period. And that sucks. That fucking sucks. I hate it. It sucks. It's horrible. However, seeking comfort in the moment where you're not meant to be as comfortable as you would like to be is you stunting your growth, and is you stunting your motherfucking growth, because you're trying to use food, you're trying to use sex, you're trying to use this substance, whatever this substance is, you're trying to use this person to as a form of comfort, as a form of not moving through what you need to move through. Now, I'm not saying when you're uncomfortable, be alone, be a hermit. It's up to you. I hate that. I do not like that message. I don't like how a lot of messages, and I get it. It's so many nuanced ways of saying things, but I don't like how it's like, you have to be alone. Like, sometimes, yeah, you fucking do. You really have to, like, you gotta figure it out. But you can have people around you still. Like, you don't have to be a fucking island. Even then, an island has sand, trees, water, shade, bugs, creatures. It still works in an ecosystem. It still has others. It still belongs in some way to something. You're not trying to be a mountain dweller. When I say, be alone or don't seek comfort, what I'm talking about here is like avoidance behavior. Eating your feelings as opposed to feeling your feelings. Smoking your feelings in whatever way, whatever you're smoking. In order to not feel them, in order to negate them. Using your body as a means to ignore your body. So having sex is a means to ignore the fact that you're hurting. What else? Reaching out to someone who doesn't want you as a means of not feeling what you need to feel to move through that energy. That's what I mean when I say seeking comfort. So there are going to be contradictions in the words I use. Maybe I need to broaden my vocabulary. I think we all do. But I hope you understand the essence. I know it can be hard because it's the same words. But this is being comfortable in the uncomfortable, being comfortable in life, being comfortable with you and your world. This is as you're letting go and shedding the former sense of worth in this shift, and as you are entering into this new sense of worth in this shift, you brace yourself. I'm going to read Wombat Spirit now. Look at this little guy. Doesn't he look so furry? Let me have a wombat. I'll get a wombat. I don't know what they actually look like in life, but this one looks so cute. I would totally put trinkets on every... Oh, I love it. I wouldn't. I don't think I'd dress up my pets. Burrowing deep into the ground, remaining safe, sound, and well-fed with family is a special trait of the wombat. It's not even about seclusion. Home sweet home is always available if you recognize that well-being is the truth of life. Wombat Spirit reminds you that to be truly at home in the world, you need to find comfort within your own skin. There we go. Those are the words. And again, I'm not saying don't find comfort externally. There's going to be those things, and sometimes you can't help it. Sometimes it's going to help you move through what you need to move through. Like there was a point in my life where eating was a form of comfort. Eating was a form of comfort, and I was like, you know what? I made my peace with that, and it comforted me when I needed comfort. And once I was like, okay, I can handle this on my own or whatever, then the eating decreased. It went away. One of my mentors, she, I don't know if I can even, it's not really giving away an identity here, but, yeah, it's almost like, coping mechanisms that all of a sudden leave you when the thing you're coping from leaves you as well. So, let's say if painting was a means for me to get through what I needed to get through. Okay, let me do it this way. Meditating. Meditating for me was a pretty big coping mechanism to move through the energy of my deep, deep, dark night, right? I barely meditate anymore. It sucks, actually. I miss it. My meditation is kind of different. My spiritual practice is different now, but yeah, I barely meditate. So it's almost like there are some things that are going to help, but again, you can't take them with you, man. You can't take them with you at the end. You say goodbye to them. So like I was saying earlier, which again, no judgment necessarily. This part is sounding a little bit on the judgment side, but where if this behavior was helping you cope through something, okay, but now you can't take it with you anymore. If this sense of self, leaning on this person that wasn't stable enough for you, leaning on this thing that wasn't stable and leaning on that, it helped you to a point, but now it's time to say bye and find help, finding home and comfort within the new skin and not the old skin that's shedding. Exodosis. That's what snakes do. I looked it up. Exodosis. Dude, what is it called? Echidosis? Echidosis. Ecdysis. Ecdysis. Let's get Google to say it. No, stop.
Ecdysis.
Ecdysis. The process of shedding the old skin or casting off the outer cuticle. Yeah. Ew. Sorry, it's really gross. Because I just remembered I found bugs in my basement, or like a bug, or like on a tree or something, but it was actually like the ecdysis. Oh my god, ecdysis.
Ecdysis.
Ecdysis. It was actually like the shell of a bug. Ugh. Oh, gross. But anyway, ew, so nasty. But it's cool. Ugh, gross. I forgot where I was going with that. Where was I going with that? It's leaving the old skin behind, truly, and being like, hey, cool, but I cannot take you with me. You're itchy. You're scratchy. You fight. You fight. You fight. You fight. You fight. 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 Itchy and scratchy. Did you know where I was going with that? Let me come back. I've been here too long. Yeah, it's letting go of that old skin, right? In this shift, letting go of that old skin and getting used to the new that's coming in. And it's not even new. That's the thing. Like again, spherical, because that old skin and the new skin have been coexisting. It's just one of them needs to move so that the other one can breathe. I love that. Wombat Spirit reminds you to be truly at home in the world. You need to find comfort within your own skin. You do this by accepting all your experience without judgment. I love that. Yay, come through. So again, like I was saying earlier, without judging what's gotten you here, you can judge it in terms like, you know what? This is who I used to be. I used to be the smoker. I used to be the priss. I used to be the nun. I used to be the party girl. I used to be the virgin. I used to be the slut. I used to be, I don't know, what words are people into these days? I used to be the bitch. I used to be the fuckboy. I used to be the thief. I used to be the heartbreaker. I used to be the panty slayer. Whatever you used to be, right? I used to be the most spiritual. I used to be whatever, and it's allowing yourself to breathe in your new skin. Saying, I'm good. Like I want to release that. Okay, cool. I got a phone call. I want to release that. Say, it's not the next phase that I want to be in anymore. It's not, so whatever it is. Whatever it is. Not all of it. Some of it. It could be a nugget of something. You can say, but I love giving, Luz. I love giving. I love giving. Like, come through, give. But it's maybe adding conditions or taking away certain conditions, or just recklessly saying, I'm going to be a fucking giver, and if people don't appreciate what I give them, and you lay out what appreciation means to you, they don't say thank you, then you don't give to them anymore. Like, you becoming more at home, more settled in what it is you are going to and not going to do, in a way that feels right, in a way that matches who you are becoming. We don't have to be who we were 2 years ago or who we were 2 months ago, because I wager you're different. You are different. So you can let go, release the old identity. You can release the girl who used to have no butt and say, I want to be the girl with the butt now. You can be the girl who releases the hot Cheetos and say, I don't want to be the girl who eats hot Cheetos anymore. I want to be the girl who gets excited about a salad. Or you can say, I want to be the girl who gets excited about a salad and is not afraid to have a bag of hot Cheetos every once in a while. Like, you can decide what that is. I'm not going to sit here and tell you. You can go from being the virgin to being the whatever. Whatever. Like I don't know what your thing is. I'm hoping it's going to be moving from something that is no longer serving you, and that's not always, a negative thing. Sometimes it's the fact that, you let, I don't know, man. Whatever is not serving you anymore. And by that, it's not something horrible again. It could be something that is an aspect of you that you can say, this isn't working. Me smiling so much at work, they don't take me seriously, so maybe I need to smile less. Like it could be anything. And so when you listen to this, I hope you've listened to it in an open and broad way, so that you can let this message sink in to where it really needs to sink in, as deep as it needs to sink in for you. Okay, I'm going to read that line again. You do this by accepting all your experience without judgment through a deep honesty and love of life. When you feel the freedom to be yourself, you can begin to truly feel at home in your life with your family and tribe. Right now, you're in a beautiful place, come through, where you can hang up the coat of your identity, and settle into a true sense of home and well-being, understanding that all is well. Everything you do from this place rings true in harmony with spirit. We're in the right place, y'all. We're in the right place. Snake spirit. Talk about exoduses. She just said it. Exoduses? Oh, girl. Talk about shedding of skin. And I love that it comes right after skunk spirit. 54 and 55. Man, come through. Snake spirit's like, y'all talking about me? Y'all talking about me? Well, it's time to heal. I didn't know they had a snake spirit in this deck. Who jumped out? Aw, kitty spirit. Cutie, and this, the card that keeps popping up at the bottom is the butterfly spirit and protection too. That's about rebirth, I think. No, I think that's the bat spirit. It's about, I'm sure it's about transformation or whatever, but in protection, it's, I don't know, for me, it's like a time energy. Still a process of sort of dying to and shedding. It's not fully shed, Did you want to say something? I feel like you want to say something. I don't really want to go too much longer than I already have. I feel like at this point I'm talking to myself. Do you want to say anything particular about that? Oh, wow. The Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords. In reverse. Wow. That's interesting. That's crazy. I wasn't expecting that. I feel like, I don't know, this is stealing from yourself still. I'll show it to you in a bit. This deck is so great. I just, in order to get the more in-depth um, messages from it, I would have needed to have gotten both decks, but I don't care for the as above deck. So having something taken from you, my goodness. Yeah. Time being taken from you, energy being taken from you, clarity being taken from you. This is the Seven of Swords. So, this is a shedding. I like that. I wasn't expecting that. That's really deep. That's really deep. It's not a major, but the Seven of Swords is, that's really deep. Someone taking from you. But I also feel like, again, it's also a self taking from self as a result of someone taking from you. It's almost like, you know what they say, that not forgiving someone is allowing them to live rent free in your mind? It's allowing them to live rent free in your heart. When you've been betrayed by someone and you continuously hold on to those feelings of betrayal and those experiences, like we were talking about an hour ago, it's robbing from you. In some cases that's going to be a thing that's going to happen, but as we move through this shift, it's shifting through that energy where we no longer, we move through that enough that we don't, I don't want to say let it go, that we no longer base our worth off of that. We begin to build that trust within ourselves over again. Remember that whole conversation about trusting ourselves? And yeah, we don't trust this other person, but we also don't trust ourselves to make the right choices again. We don't trust ourselves to not wind up in the old situation. You know, we don't trust ourselves to that whole thing. This is clear. I mean, swords are ideas, swords are clarity, swords to me are also heavy. Swords are really heavy. Swords are thinking, swords are thoughts, swords are mental stuff, and mental stuff can sometimes, you can't escape it. Like, you can't except in sleep. Really. Something may have happened last year or a while ago, but it continues to live on in our mental space and even in our heart space. Swords are also special. Swords are heavy for me, especially this one. They were carried by the nobility. So it's a responsibility that few have, and it's sort of a privilege, but at the same time, not, you know, like a gift and a curse in a way. It's like, yay, cool, you're a certain class of people that only can do this thing. But it's also, you're a certain class of people that can only do this set thing. So anyway, as it relates to this shift, I would like to say it's moving through and away from the energy of things being taken from us, quite literally. Time being taken from us, our mental state being taken from us not thinking so much about certain situations anymore because we've moved through them, we've released them, us feeling more at home in what happened or what has happened or what is happening to us, and letting it be what it is. I'm reminded of the dolphin spirit, which says this and that are true. Here. Why? I forgot. Where we can both simultaneously still be having these sort of triggers or these sort of stealing moments where this person or this event, this place keeps continuously sort of taking from us, or we continue to take from ourselves, and simultaneously healing too, moving through it, releasing it. You know, as we're going through it, we're also releasing it. So this and that are true. Why have I not released this yet? Why do I keep thinking about this yet? Whereas you're thinking about it, it's also releasing it. It's just, there's also this thing of you taking away from yourself. So there's a couple stories here. The King of Pentacles in reverse. Why did I put the book away? Alright, I didn't think I would need it. In reverse, to buy people's affections or obedience by controlling the resources. That's interesting. I asked what's being taken away, and it said, and what came out was the King of Pentacles in reverse. Robbing ourselves of our own resources by giving them to things that don't serve us anymore. Like skin, old skin. If you don't trim your tree or your leaves, whatever, your hair, resources from your body are sent to those parts of you, like your hair or even a plant. Let's stick with hair. Resources, nutrients are sent to those parts of your hair that are dead. It's dead. It's not coming back. When we are pining for someone who doesn't want us in a love situation, let's say, one of my favorite situations to use because it's just easy, we are sending resources to that person. We may try to do things for them to get them to want us. We may try to do things for them in the name of them wanting to be with us, and doing those kinds of things to try to have them be what we want them to be that they aren't being in that moment or in that time, and therefore not giving those things to ourselves, because the things that we're giving to them are the things that low-key we want them to give to us, and so rather than giving them to ourselves, we give it to them, right? So when I ask what's being taken, it's valuable resources like your time, your ideas, your clarity, your sense of worth, I suppose, even being given to someone else, and so putting them on this high pedestal, and therefore you being lower than the pedestal, because you can't put someone on a pedestal and be on a pedestal as well. You put them on there, so that means you're lower. I think, in my mind anyway, you're looking up at a pedestal, being like, yeah, I'm gonna give you stuff, like in a sense of like worship, right? I'm gonna bring stuff to the altar and the pedestal and put it onto here, and you're gonna be great, right? You're gonna be okay, right? You're gonna like me, right? You're gonna love me, right? You're gonna give to me, right? But really, in a more general sense, it's giving to a company that doesn't like. It's giving to something that is dead and dying. And I'm not saying your relationship is dead and dying. These are just excuses to like get you into the essence of what I'm talking about. Okay? Did I say excuses? these are just these are just examples. Wow, I said excuses. These are just examples to get you into the essence of what I'm talking about, where we're giving to something that's dead. We're giving to something to get something. So it would be better to give to home, to give to self, to what is giving to us. It would be better to give to the new skin, ecstasis. Dude, I don't know how to say it. Ecstasis. It would be better to shed that skin, shed that persona, and leave it there, and so we can give to this new skin. Just like again with plants, if you have plants in your garden or in your house plants, you take off the dead leaves or the dying leaves so that those nutrients can give way to new, just like spirit, it can give way to new 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 to new stuff, to the new leaves, the new flourishings, and even the old ones that are still striving. Because we have finite resources within us, I'd say. I'd get burned out. So why not give it to those who are who give it to what makes sense? This is 3 cards. Are you kidding me? We have the 4 of Wands, the 9 of Pentacles, and the Knight of Chalices. You know what I'm seeing here? I'm seeing something pretty basic. But what I'm seeing here is almost like these people are in the backyard preparing. Can you see this? You can't. They're preparing the festivities. She has been cooking all day, also preparing the festivities. There's some in the front, there's some in the back. They're preparing the back there. These are the appetizers. And she's being like, where he at? And he's out here just lounging, chilling, in the ways off in the distance. But I think she can see him. That's what I see here. I want to say this 4 of Wands is spirit preparing something, helping you prepare something. And this lady here is waiting for this man to come home. So that the party can begin. I'm not looking like he's taking his time though. He's chilling. Anyway, don't mind that story. Don't mind that story. I just wanted to share what I was seeing. I'm getting to know these cards. Okay. Anything else here? Anything else you want to say? Final words? Okay. Wow. So what I'm asking about, oh, come on. What I'm asking about here, let me look up what the moon is first, because I feel like I get it. Oh, you can't even see this. You can't see it. You guys know I'm not a tarot reader, right? I don't read tarot. I am not a tarot reader. I am an oracle card reader, so I read some of my tarot like oracle cards. I don't know how to say. It's intuitive reading anyway. Look, that's the umbrella. Interesting. So I asked, I mean, I could probably read all of them. I asked, I asked, what, like on the ground, like what more can you extrapolate on what can carry us through this shift, right? And here we have the Six of Swords in reverse, the Eight of Pentacles, the Knave of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, and the Moon in reverse. What I get is because with this, she's running, chasing the new. And in reverse, I almost feel like she's going back to the destruction. And I was like, what? Excuse me? But I feel like it's telling the story of how it may seem like as we experiencing the shedding, like I keep using this example, when in the Three of Swords, when those three swords have pierced the heart and that card shows up in the reverse for me, it's still painful to shed. It's still painful to sort of purge and I don't know, snakes and stuff, they don't feel the pain apparently, but they feel uncomfortable and they get really testy. So I feel like it's experiencing again these hashed up feelings or the sort of discomfort and working through it, like, and not trying to speed anything up, but like the Wombat Spirit says something about like hang up your identity and just be at home, like be comfortable in your own skin. If one has, I'm not saying don't chase happiness, I'm not saying don't run after what you want or anything, but what I'm saying is like that may not be the time. Like allow this energy to be what it is. Don't run after things to calm you, not calm you, but don't run after things to comfort you necessarily. Don't run after the things that I don't want to say the things that bring you joy, but the things that like this is not the time for necessarily your comfort stuff. Be at home in the stuff. Be at home in, be comfortable with the discomfort is basically what I'm trying to say. Be comfortable with the discomfort. because the discomfort isn't where you're going to be. It's not forever at all. That's what I'm getting from this moon here. What you're learning isn't that you won't forever be in this space. That's a lie. Instead, it's that it's the sort of final remnants of the phase that you're in. That we are in. Like it's a setup. It's in the other meaning of being fooled. Don't be fooled. It's a setup, and oh shit, it's a setup. 2018 has been a setup, but I feel like, again, if you're watching this and not 2018 though, come through. This is probably still for you. Just, especially if you were feeling the shift in 2018 and you just got around to watching it, then come through. But yeah, it's setting us up for something. It's just there seems to be something in the rubble that needs to come with you as you go into this new, and so don't chase the new. Don't chase comfort. Don't chase momentary comfort. Be where you're at. Okay, let's see what these people say. Studies. This one says something is deceiving in the reverse. This guy says the Page of Pentacles says he studies the rhythm of nature and learns the secrets of the physical realm. So I'd like to think that there's a sense of deception around the energy of this is what's happening, but really there is something deeper happening, which is the fact that this isn't forever, right? The fact that this isn't you back at it again with the white vans. This is actually you entering into the new phase, but you haven't yet gotten there. And now we're in a mini phase of entering into the other phase. I hope you understood. Justifiable pride. Sorry. Working carefully. Man, that's all I get. Working carefully. Oh, if anybody has the booklet or kit to this deck, you let me know, because this little guy is not doing it for me. But I'm still gonna say that intuitively what I got is what it is. Staying in a situation that could be escaped, disregarding help. That could be true too. I like that. But I still feel like you have a shift that you're going through. This is what this reading is about. Don't try not to be in a rush. Try not to use vices to get through whatever energy is going through. Just because I feel like it prolongs it, to be honest with you. Because as you're feeling this energy, and then you put a vice up to stop you from feeling it, then the energy is like, oh, okay, you're not home, I'll come back later, and it just prolongs it. So sitting with the uncomfortable feelings and allowing them to be what they need to be, and working through them, knowing that you are supported. She's fucking beautiful. Look at that. I love this deck. Come through representation. Working through it, being a student, being an open mind, looking at the way things are, knowing that it's going to be a little bit topsy-turvy, enjoying the tops and making space for the twerves, and knowing that it's not forever. Here with the moon card is what I'm getting. It's deceptive. It's not entirely what's all that's going on. Okay, and that may help carry through the energy. I don't know. I hope this helped. The shift I'm very intrigued that it was about it's about worth, but I like all the different ways that worth shows up. Worth is huge, so I like that. Yeah, no worth, skunk spirit. You're worth that new skin, you know, and it's coming. It's just may come with a bit of discomfort as well. So when you get the chance to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. And until then, keep your light on and good luck.